Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I would like to call to order the Bamberg County School District Board of Trustees meeting to order. Today's date is Monday, October 10th. The time is 6 o'clock p.m. Board members, I would ask before we go further down on the agenda, if you have not already, please silence your phones. If anyone needs a minute to do that, are we all good? Good? Okay. In front of you, you do have the agenda. We're on item number 2, and you've had an opportunity to receive and review it prior to tonight's meeting. What is the pleasure of the board with regards to approval of the agenda?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
at this time, I'll make a motion that we accept the agenda as written.
All right, we have a motion on the floor that we accept and approve the agenda as it's written. Is there a second?
Yes, ma'am, second.
We have a second on the floor. Any discussion? Hearing none, if you're in favor of approval of the agenda, please signal by saying aye. Aye. Is there any opposition? Hearing none, the ayes have it. We're down to item number 3 on the agenda, which is approval of the minutes for September 7th and September 12th of 2022. And board members, you've had an opportunity to receive both sets of the minutes as well as to review them prior to tonight's meeting. What is the pleasure of the board with regards to approval of the minutes for those dates?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
at this time, I'll make a motion that we accept the approval of the minutes for September 7th, 2022, and September 12th, 2022.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion on the floor and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, if you're in favor of this, please signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, the ayes have it. The motion carries. We are now down to item number 4 on the agenda, which is the school reports, and we will start with Dr. Chassie Evans of Richard Carroll Elementary School.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How's everybody doing?
Great, how are you?
Nice to see y'all. I'm good, good. All right, so our current enrollment has dropped about 18 since last month. We're now at 629. I think we were at 648 last month, so maybe it's 19. Right now we are sitting at 52 discipline referrals since our last board meeting, which is still very high for us. So in addition to starting the behavioral intervention teams, we have started implementing our classroom guidance lessons, specifically geared towards peer conflicts, because that seems to be the #1 thing we're facing right now is student-to-student peer conflicts. So we're working on that. Every classroom has a schedule for those lessons with school counselors. And then, of course, we're addressing those needs as they come up daily. So far this month, we have conducted 31 teacher observations since our last board meeting. We have 17 teachers who are getting ready to be formally evaluated this year for recertification or first or second year teachers, and those are being scheduled as we speak. And we have completed all of our goals-based evaluation pre-conferences as well as our student learning objective pre-conferences. This week we started COGAT Iowa testing, which is our GT testing for all second graders. It started today and will run through this week. Just wanted to shout out Bobby Bunch, who was our Teacher of the Year. We were excited that she was the one that was chosen. And then I really wanted to add an academic component to my monthly report, but I couldn't figure out how to say what I really wanted to say. So what do? I do what all elementary teachers do, is I put it in pictures. So you can see what all the things we have going on around RCES in the form of pictures. It was a whole lot easier for you to see that than it is for me to sit there and write everything that they're doing. But teaching and learning is surely taking place, and our after-school program is thriving. This year we have about 88 students currently enrolled in the after-school program, which is funded by the original Six Foundation. And we completely revamped it this year. It's no longer just a homework center. Now we're doing a lot of STEAM activities and enrichment activities in addition to a little bit of homework time every day. So wanted to shout that out. Another thing that we've had since the last board meeting was we had the Columbia Marionette Theater come to Richard Carroll on September 14th, and they did Litter Trash is Everyone. And we have seen an improvement in that around the school as well as on the playgrounds from students. They've been paying more attention since that event. And then we had our first ever Pastries with Parents event on September 27th, and it was a packed house, but it was wonderful. Parents came, very excited to be there. Kids loved it. To my knowledge, we got no negative feedback at all, which is unusual when you have an event that large. So we're excited to do some more of those kinds of things in the near future. And upcoming events, we have Family Literacy Night tomorrow night. Would love for you to come if you're available. From 5 to 6 o'clock, we're going to host the parents for 5K through 3rd grade. And then from 6 to 7 o'clock, we will have our grades 4 through 6. We have a lot of free books to give away to kids. Gently used books, I mean just mounds of them. They can take whatever they want. We're going to feed them a hot dog supper before they leave. And then, of course, we have Red Ribbon Week coming up. And we decided this year, we let the 6th graders come up with our dress-up days. And they came up with Follow Your Dreams, Not Drugs, Wear Pajamas, Too Bright for Drugs, Wear Bright Colors and Sunglasses, Drugs Can't Find Me, Wear Camo, Put a Cap on Drugs, Wear a Hat, and Drugs Are a Trick, Not a Treat, Wear a Costume. And so that was all done by 6th grade students. And then finally, on that Friday the 29th, we are having our fall carnival that is being put on completely by our PTO. It's a fundraiser for them, and they have the whole thing planned out. So we are super excited about that. So we have a lot going on. All very good stuff.
Great.
Any questions?
Any questions? Okay, before you step down from the podium, board members, you know that on a weekly basis, Dr. Evans has been providing her weekly events, and I've been sending that to the board members. Do you all have any problem with her just adding you to her email list as well, and that way she can send it to myself and you all? You guys are comfortable with that?
I have one question. I tried to get in, to go in, and they told me I had to do something. You had to send me out.
Well, because of the way we're doing it as a shared document with Mrs. Walker, she has access to it, but when she shares it with you all, then it requires me to give you access. So if you will just send me a quick,
Okay.
add access, I'll give you access. Otherwise, I have to share it with each of you individually.
Okay.
Okay. So I think,
However you want to do it.
I think they all would like to have it.
So just send it to everybody individually?
To everyone.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I didn't really hear what the purpose of this was.
The purpose of,
Just repeat the initial. You're sending something to the board?
well, I was just sharing with Mrs. Walker because every week I do a newsletter to my staff.
Oh,
And so I've just been
okay.
sharing that with her, so that she can kind of have an idea of what's going on, because a monthly board report just doesn't really adequately show you all the things we have going on a daily
Thank you, I'm
basis.
sorry.
Yep.
Okay. So we promise that we won't bombard her with a bunch of questions.
Even if
Yes. Ms. Bamberg.
Dr. Evans, you said we had 18 less students than last meeting. Did they move from the area or just,
we had
do you know what happened to?
a couple of them were really big families that live in Orangeburg now.
Okay,
So they had 4 or 5 kids each.
okay,
I think that's really what caused part of it.
okay, just wondering.
We also had some of those families that transferred in August.
Mhm.
One of those families came to us new in August and went back to where they originally came from just last week. And I want to say there was 4 of those children were in the same household. They attended Orangeburg County School District.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, next up we have Denise Miller with Bamberg Earhart Middle School.
Well, greetings from Bamberg Earhart Middle School.
Greetings.
It's a privilege to be before you tonight. You have your report, and so we'll just start at the top with our overall enrollment. We are currently at 192. Things have slowed down a little bit. I think the sign was finally taken down off of 95. And I'm always happy to talk about our community support and our stakeholder support. And so last time, I left off Mr. Hires. I'm sorry. Please charge it to my heart or mine and not my heart, okay? Anyways, Mr. Hires, he did attend our BEMS back to school prayer report. And then a few weeks into the school year, Ms. Eccles came and she attended our BEMS open house, spoke with some teachers and parents, and I can't thank you enough for allowing our teachers and staff members and our parents to see you involved at our school. I have two teachers who have become FAA certified drone pilots. Ms. Charlotte Schlamp and Mr. Kristen Jensen took a class that was sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Education, and then they took a very difficult test. And they're now drone pilots, and so they've been speaking with their science students about potential careers with drones, like photography, real estate, agriculture. And we don't quite know where we're going. We've got to communicate with our IT department to see what our limitations are, but we hope to incorporate this program into our STEM program at the middle school. Number 4, my students are so happy about our new cafeteria furniture. They think they're at Applebee's. We have booths, and we have these circular and oval-shaped tables that foster eye contact when they communicate. And their behavior, we had silent lunch prior to the new furniture, and when the new furniture came, they talk, they keep the noise level down, they act appropriately, and so I'm so thankful to Dr. Brown and our finance department for making this happen for our middle school.
Dr. Simmons must have rubbed off, huh? I visited the cafeteria and I was impressed with that, so that's great to see that you're getting it as well.
Yes, ma'am. We started Project Alert, and that is an evidence-based 11-week substance abuse program for our 7th graders. I'm hoping, we've seen a rise in the use of vapes, so I'm hoping that that will stem some of the use of vapes in our, it's not bad, but it's not great either. So I hope our 7th graders are paying attention. This program is sponsored by the Tri-County Commission on Alcohol and Drug Abuse. We have partnered with Voorhees College, and we have a Gear Up program. And September the 26th through the 30th, they sponsored a Gear Up week, and Gear Up stands for Gaining Early Awareness and Readiness for Undergraduate Programs. We were supposed to take a field trip. The whole entire school was supposed to go to Voorhees College for Gear Up Day. However, Hurricane Ian kind of ruined that. We're going to have to reschedule that for another time. But I'm very thankful for our partnership with Voorhees. We had homecoming last week, Thursday. And our second runner-up was Miss India Wilson. She's an 8th grade student. Our first place runner-up was Miss Carmen Folks. She's an 8th grade student. And our homecoming queen is Miss Jordan Johnson, and she is a 7th grade student. All of our girls look really good, and we had a good time last week. Last Friday, the students dressed like the teachers, and the teachers dressed like the students. We'll be given the PSAT this Wednesday. We have 27 students scheduled to take that test. And I have some celebrations that just came in. Friday, we had 2 students go to the state fair, and they participated in the barrel show. And so we had Miss Reese Hutto. She placed 2nd in record books. And then we had Miss Paige Ulmer. She was the grand champion, and she also received the showmanship award. And last, but very important, is our 2022 Teacher of the Year is Ms. Carol Brown.
All right, do you have any questions for Ms. Miller? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Jordan Smith with Bamberg Earhart High School.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
As a first-year principal, not a lot of news. No news is good news, right?
I don't know
It's
about that.
October and we're still surviving. All right, current enrollment dropped slightly. We're down to 359.
Up from what last
370.
month? I'm sorry?
370 last
Okay.
time. We hosted open house and parent senior night on September 15th. That was well attended. I don't have an exact number for you yet, but a lot of parents were very happy to be able to come back into the building, and our teachers were there, and we got a lot of absence issues discussed, behavior issues hashed out, and academic things talked about. That was a great to get away from the COVID era and get back into the building. Ms. Morgan Busby, if you have not met her, she is a wonderful ag teacher, fairly new to the district. Comes to me about 2 days before and says, Mr. Smith, something happened, I calm down. What do you need? She says, can we host the regional teachers and chapters workshop at our school? I'm like, why? Something happened where it was supposed to happen. I said, sure, we want to be leaders whenever we can. So we hosted the regional teachers meeting and chapter officer workshop on September 20th, 2022. It was, I think, around 9 or 10 schools, big schools, about their FFA chapters. She was like, we just need a commentary and the media. So I'm like, sure, it'll be fine. When I walked in and saw all of those kids, I ran to Dottie's office quickly. Glad she wasn't there. So, but it was an awesome thing. Their state president and vice president, all the FFAs in this region met at Bamberg High School and had a wonderful time. So I just want to brag on her for being a leader and stepping up and Bamberg able to host. They like it because we're centrally located in that lower region, so it might be a thing. We had a staff morale potluck during the professional development day, and our staff really, really enjoyed it. It was good to see the Bamberg High School staff conversing amongst each other, happy, and just generally enjoying being around themselves. We had a board member attend. I'm sorry I did not put that invite out, but I will make sure on the next time we have that morale potluck, you guys should come, stop in, and eat some good food and talk with us.
It was good.
And it was my idea. I don't care what Kathy tells you. All right, so 35 discipline incidents. I put that on here to basically let you know this is fairly low considering we're having a full year. We're administratively not staffed as we've been. And we accredit this to Ms. Sandifer giving our students she said, no, Mr. Smith, we're going to stay in homeroom longer. These first couple of days, I was like, yes, ma'am. And she made the teachers, or encouraged the teachers, to walk through the handbook those first couple of days. So although it was a slow start, it is paying dividends. For the last 5 years, we're under where we normally are at this time of the year. Also, we've been incorporating from Crisis Prevention Institute verbal intervention training throughout our staff, and yours truly is actually hosting for all the principals in the room, can send staff members to that training, which we are hosting on the 18th. I really strongly suggest that training before Dr. Brown makes it mandatory. It basically helps teachers de-escalate verbal conflicts, because sometimes you can throw gasoline on the fire, and that doesn't help at all. Briefing by exception, some homecoming things. Wednesday is the homecoming parade at 5:30. We also have moved traditionally we will have a pep rally the day of homecoming for a period, but due to map testing, professional development, and 2 hurricane days, we've been taxing third and fourth period. So we made an academic decision to move our pep rally to Friday, second period. And the students complained. I said, do you want me to cancel it? They got quiet. So we will have that normal pep rally second period Friday. You guys are welcome, starting at 10:30. During that pep rally, we will announce the homecoming court and crown Mr. Red Raider. Last but not least, our teacher of the year is Ms. Kathy Lund. Any questions?
Any questions? Thank you so much, sir. All right, next on the agenda, we have Dr. Rhonda Ray, principal at Denmark Oler Elementary School. All right. Good evening.
Current enrollment, we're down by 2. Last month we were at 270, so we're currently at 268. 0 COVID cases. September the 27th, I held a Read to Succeed parent informational meeting where I met with the 3rd grade parents. We will have other meetings throughout the year just to make sure parents are aware of the Read to Succeed law and the requirement. As you see, I'm not going to go through everything, but the month of October is a busy month, but it's a good busy. On Friday, October the 7th, which was this past Friday, I met with the Student Leaders and Learners Council. I asked each teacher from pre-K all the way to 5th grade to give me the name of a student they would nominate to serve on the council. So it's similar to like a student council where I'll meet with the teachers, meet with the students, get their ideas to help with continued improvement around the school. So it was a great first meeting, and especially with the little one, the 4-year-old up to the 10, 11-year-old with the age range. So the meeting went really well. On October the 18th, we're going to have our PD Day as well as a Title I Chat and Chew. We're encouraging our parents to come out for that event. One session is going to be from 11 to 12, and the second session is 12 to 1. And the parents are sending back the forms to let us know which session they plan on attending. On October the 19th, our school is going to participate in partnership with the United States Attorney's Office in recognition or observance of the Day of National Concern about young people and gun violence. And the guidance counselor is leading that up for us. And each student would actually, recite the pledge as well as sign the pledge. Let's see. We also, for November the 3rd, I put that on this month's agenda because the next meeting will be after this event. But on November the 3rd, we will have our first quarter awards day program. I know the parents are going to be so excited to be in the building for us to celebrate. So if you all are available, pre-K through 2nd grade, it will take place at 8:30, and 3rd through 5th grade will take place at 9:30. We are in the process of planning the formal observations. We have a total of 9 teachers, a combination of recertification as well as a couple of first-year teachers for the formal observations. And of course, we are conducting our weekly walkthroughs and giving teachers feedback. The DOES reading plan, which is due this coming Friday, we did get input from our teachers as we're updating the plan for this year. And last but not least, our teacher of the year is first grade teacher, Mr. Joare Houston.
All right.
Any questions?
Any questions for Dr. Ray? I do have a question. The awards day program, you gave us the times here, but where will that be held? Where can we see it?
It's going to be in the gym.
In the gym, okay.
At the elementary side.
Okay. Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have a report from Ms. Goldsmith. Is she out?
Ms. Goldsmith
Oh,
is out. Dr. Simmons has agreed to do her report tonight. Her son was involved in an accident today, so she had to get to Owensboro.
okay, sorry to hear that. Thank you so much, Dr. Simmons.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. I want to talk just a little bit about the middle school. I was given this report and I'm making it on behalf of Ms. Goldsmith. The current enrollment at Bamberg Middle School is 150 students. The 6th grade has 58 students, 7th grade 52, 8th grade 80. There are currently no COVID cases for staff or students. According to the report, the recruitment efforts continue at Bamberg Middle School to get more teachers. They held the Title I annual meeting, was offered to parents and stakeholders on Tuesday, September 20th. According to the report, MAP testing has been completed and the school is in the process of analyzing the learning gaps and addressing various academic deficiencies. The 8th grade students will participate in the College and Career Ready Day at South Carolina State University on October the 31st. And activities are being planned currently in conjunction with Bamberg Elementary School for Red Ribbon Week, which is October 24th through the 28th. And individual conferences with the principal are being held with students to address various academic and behavioral concerns. If you have questions or concerns as pertains to this report, I would certainly ask you to communicate those concerns either to the principal or to Dr. Brown. because I can't answer any of the concerns.
Okay. You've heard what Dr. Simmons said, so if you have any questions or concerns, you can address those accordingly. And since you're already standing, I guess we'll invite you to talk to us about Denmark High School.
Now, I can talk a little bit about them.
I know that's right.
Thank you so very much. Our current enrollment is 185 students. That's down 1 student from our last meeting. Confirmed COVID cases, 0 for staff and 0 for students. The enrollment at the various grade levels, we have 93 freshmen, 55 sophomores, 46 juniors, and 41 seniors. I want to mention that on,
You said 93 freshmen?
I'm sorry, I guess I should wear those glasses.
Yep.
43 freshmen.
You also said 80 on the middle school, but we'll let that slide.
Glasses. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I promise
We
you,
knew
next time I
what
come,
you
I have
meant.
them on. Next time I come, I have them on. The denial is open. I need those glasses. But as it relates to college application day, on Thursday, September 22nd, that was held. We had 6 colleges and universities to come on campus and help our students, our seniors in particular, complete college applications, apply for scholarships, and many of them were awarded scholarships on that day on the spot based upon their current GPA, so we're really excited about that. Also, part of that was on that day, we had something called the Freshman Refresh, where we meet with freshmen to talk about establishing goals, making sure they understand what types of credits they need to have in order to graduate, just in an effort to keep them on track. We also had what was called the sophomores, soft skills for sophomores, and obviously soft skills are teaching them how to complete applications, how to handle business, how to do things the right way, and that was a part of the college application day. We also had the Junior Jumpstart, and that is where we begin to have conversations with our juniors about completing college applications, doing their research, trying to determine which college is going to, which college will best meet their needs or their future desires. And part of that conversation is making sure that juniors and seniors are fully aware of the unmentioned cost as it relates to college. We know that the tuition covers the books and the schooling, but those outside bills that may come up that kids have no idea about it when they come, they're just blown away by that. So those were conversations that were had with our seniors and juniors as it pertains to those outside costs for college. On Friday, September 23rd, Denmark High School hosted the Food Share / United Way food distribution. We had boxes of food that was delivered by Food Share, sponsored by the United Way, and we had the Denmark High School football team, along with our GROTC cadets. They distributed, I think it was 265 boxes of food to members of the community, which I thought was a really good experience. And I think you may have received a photo of our kids with their jerseys and uniforms on doing that. We had Senior Picture Day on September 29th. And it's amazing how seniors get so excited when it's picture day. Something I don't understand it yet. But they were just so excited about being able to get their senior picture taken. And we were just glad. And many of them, as they said to me, Doc, I didn't think I was going to make it, but I'm a senior. I said, that's right, and you're going to graduate. So we're certainly excited for all of our seniors. Last Thursday, October 6th, some juniors and many seniors attended the Hbcu Impact Fair, and that was held at Brooklyn Baptist Church in Columbia. And the purpose of the goal of that was to expose our students to the historically black college and university experience, to afford them an opportunity to apply for admission to those universities and colleges, and also afford them an opportunity to apply for scholarships. And many students receive scholarships on the spot, as I said earlier, based upon their GPA. On October the 13th, our students, our seniors in particular, the top 10% of our senior class will be attending the South Carolina State University Presidential Scholarship Engagement Tour. Apparently, South Carolina State is visiting various sites throughout the state and hosting this tour. Our kids are going to the actual college on the 13th to attend that. And basically, the goal of it is to obviously recognize the top 10% of our senior class, expose our students to South Carolina State University and its various programs, and also afford them an opportunity to apply for interest into South Carolina State. This week is our homecoming week. If you were on campus or saw any pictures coming out of Denmark High School today, you would have seen kids dressed like they've never been dressed before, because today was the wacky tacky day. Young man said to me this morning, he said, Dr. Simmons, why you not dressed for wacky and tacky? I said, it's as wacky and as tacky as I get. Right? See? So we were excited about homecoming week. So if you see some weird dressing throughout the week, it's all a part of homecoming week. The Denmark High School homecoming parade is this coming Friday at 5 p.m. We certainly invite you to come out and celebrate with us our homecoming game. I know Bamberg's hosting theirs as well this week, so we hope that both teams are successful in our efforts to win our homecoming games. Also want to mention at the end of the first quarter is Monday, next Monday actually, the 17th. Professional Development Day is on Tuesday of next week, the 18th. And our report card pickup / parent conferences will be held on Thursday, October 27th from 4:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. Certainly will entertain any questions that you may have at this time.
Any questions? Yes.
Dr. Simmons.
Yes,
In reference to the homecoming parade, in the past, I think this would be the first year with the new school. So where's the parade going to begin again?
It's going to start downtown where the lineup is at the, what's near the police department. Well, what we used to call the Brook Center, but yeah, that's where it is. That's where the lineup is going to be. And we're planning to come up right by the bakery, and go down Main Street and come back. And in that, what was Dr. Thomas's old office. You know what I'm talking about, down Main Street? Once you, what was Daniel's Pharmacy across what was a railroad track many years ago, and the old doctor's office is on the left there, that's where it will end.
Now come this way, you want, that's all.
That's correct, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Simmons.
Thank you.
And before we move on to number 5, the athletic report, I'd like for the board to just give a hand to all of the teachers of the year that were selected throughout the schools in our county. If we can do that. Just thank them so much for their dedication and the efforts that they put forth in order to be selected. Next on the agenda is item number 5, which is athletic reports, and I don't see Mr. Williams here.
Yes, ma'am. Coach Williams was unable to join us tonight. He's filling in for 2 coaches at practice this evening and covering students. So we've asked Mr. Smith to fill in for him.
All right, Mr. Smith.
Good evening again. Good evening. Coach Williams made me promise that I wouldn't make any jokes, nothing animated, just reading. I was laughing and he could write. Fall sports are wrapping up, and winter sports start practice on October 31st. Volleyball teams start playoffs on October 20th. Denmark travels to Southside Christian, and Bamberg will host Hannah Pamplico. Both teams are 5-2 and second place in the region. Bamberg tennis starts the playoffs on October 25th. They finish first in the region. Cross country has a state qualifying meet on November the 4th. Both homecomings are this Friday, and we are selling tailgating spots. There will be security in the tailgating areas. I know Bamberg's entry is $50, and that comes with 2 entry passes. And if you have any questions, see Coach Williams.
I had a little tough time trying to follow you, but I think I got it. I figure you must have taken your own notes, but you did a good job. We'll let them know that you took care of business.
Did I pass? That's all
You
I did.
passed. Thank you so much. All right. Next up on the agenda is item number 6, which is this student staff recognition and superintendent's report. And I'll turn that over to Dr. Brown.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Tonight, I was going to start off my presentation with a recognition for all the teachers of the year, and I know that the board has already applauded them, but I think it deserves mentioning that their names, you've heard it all from the principals, but I would like to call out their names one more time for summation. And I too would like to personally congratulate these individuals by being selected by their peers as Teacher of the Year for their schools. I would also like to let you know that when you're selected for Teacher of the Year at the school level, you then have an application process and selection process to go through for the district Teacher of the Year. We have not, the district Teacher of the Year will hopefully be decided this week, and therefore I will be able to email all of the board members the day that that is announced to let you know who wins that process. Once the district Teacher of the Year is selected, then that person has an application process to submit to the State Department of Education, and then you go through a whole interview and process at the state level, not conducted by us, and they have a chance of running for the State Teacher of the Year. So I would like to congratulate Ms. Roberta Bobby Bunch at Rich Carroll Elementary School, Mrs. Carol Brabham at Bamberg Middle School, Mrs. Kathy Hunt at Bamberg High School, Mr. Jerome Houston at DeMarcola Elementary School, Mrs. Teresa Johnson at DeMarcola Middle School, and Ms. Jennifer Sanders at DeMarcola High School. So again, well done. Congratulations to those individuals. I would also like to ask the board tonight to consider, in the past, given the month of December is a short month, given it's a short time span between November, we have Thanksgiving holidays between the November board meeting and December board meeting. In the past, Bamberg and Denmark boards has entertained canceling the board meeting for the month of December. So we're getting close to that time. So I want to ask the board if they would, what's the board's pleasure in holding a December 2022 board meeting or not?
Board members.
I'm sorry, Ms. Walker, before you go there, you might want to think about this too. I would also like to remind the board that we meet the first Monday of every month as our regular scheduled meeting time, but that is January the 2nd. We are still out for winter break on January 2nd, so I'll go ahead and ask the board to entertain the December board meeting as well as rescheduling our January board meeting, if that's the board's pleasure.
Okay, board members, you've heard what Dr. Brown has said, and I know that in the past, like she said, there have been times where, sorry about that, that's my daughter, and she has access to get through my block on my phone. She's a VIP. In the past, there have been times where we have decided to cancel the December meeting simply because there are a lot of activities that are going on during the month of December, and then coming off of Thanksgiving, as well as it gives the opportunity for the staff and the teachers at the school to kind of catch up on things that they need to catch up on. So what are your thoughts with regards to canceling the December meeting for this year, 2022? What are your thoughts? Yes.
Madam Chairman, may I please ask you a question? We do not seem to have any policies to read today for the first reading.
That is correct.
But do you believe that in November we'll have policies to read for the first meeting?
Yes.
And then would you want them to be, I hate to ask this, but would it be good to get them in December and finish the year with had 2 meetings, or is that not essential?
It's not necessarily essential because we have an entire year to actually complete the process. And as you can see from the books that you've got, that we've done a phenomenal job of getting through them. So
That's amazing.
even if we are presented with, we do have a policy meeting, as a matter of fact, scheduled for tomorrow. So there may be some policies that will come through for in November, at the November meeting, and then we can finish that up in January so that it's timely.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Your thoughts on canceling December's meeting?
I mean, if we don't have any, critical
Pressing.
business, or pressing, items, I think do what we've done in the past.
Okay. You all comfortable with that? Okay, so we're comfortable with that. Of course, if something arises that absolutely requires for us to have a meeting because it's, necessary, then we can address that at that time. But at this particular time, then you're okay to move forward with not having a meeting for the month of December, and hopefully that will give the staff an opportunity to catch up and also participate in some school activities and holiday events and things of that nature that we know will happen in the month of December. And as far as January is concerned, as Dr. Brown had said, the first Monday happens to fall on a time that we're still out for Christmas break. So we would be looking at moving that meeting to the following Monday, are you referring to?
Night.
The 9th. If the 16th was a consideration, I would like to remind the board that January 16th is Martin Luther King Day, and that's the day that school is not in session. So the 9th would be the better, either the 9th or the 23rd. But I would request the 9th because the 23rd is pushing it where we'll be getting board packets ready for the February meeting. So the 9th would be the better choice.
Okay. Are you all comfortable with that?
Yes.
Having a meeting on the 9th?
Yes.
Okay, you have the authority to have the January meeting that would normally occur on January 2nd, move that to January 9th.
Okay.
And you are good to go. And I guess at that point, Jessica, you'll do the annual calendar? Okay. All right, we're good on that.
Okay. Notice this notifications out to the public and all the schools. All right, so.
Before we do that, I know that we all talked about doing that. Let's just put both of those into a motion. I'd like to have that just for the record. So if someone wants to entertain a motion, that December's meeting be canceled and that January's meeting be scheduled for the 9th.
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
after Dr. Brown has addressed us about the upcoming dates of our meetings, I would like to make the motion that the December meeting be canceled, as is somewhat traditional, and the January 2nd meeting be changed until January 9th.
All right. We have a motion on the floor
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, if you're in favor of that, please signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, the ayes have it, motion carries, and you can move forward.
Okay. I would like to present tonight a request for an overnight field trip that was not on the agenda. We received this basically this morning, so further direction. Ms. Moody has provided you with a copy. For the district, we are going to be participating in the State Department of Education's Summer Learning Program. The State Department has offered to provide the district with explicit professional development materials and individuals to actually come to our schools and help support and implement a new summer learning program in our district, focusing on at-risk students in grades K through 12. With this is a mandatory trip for participating select schools in the state of South Carolina to attend, send 3 persons from the district to Washington, D.C. for October 24th through the 26th to begin this training and to start our participation in this program. With that, tonight I'm asking for the board's approval for the for attendance to the National Learning Conference in Washington, D.C. And this is at no cost to the district, which is paid for by the State Department of Education. And you have all the information in front of you.
Make a motion.
You've had an opportunity to take a look at the information. You've heard what Dr. Brown has said. The information is in front of you. I've had an opportunity to review it, as I would like to believe the rest of you have. If you have not, please let me know and we'll give you more time if you need to read. If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chairman, I move that we approve the professional development trip request to the National Summer Learning Conference.
All right. right, we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. Is there any discussion? Any questions? Yes.
I'm going to do that question. I did not realize that the original citizen foundation and the funding, the after-school program, is the elementary school. I believe that's correct. I'm wondering if this will enhance that or go along with that, or if it
This is summer. This is that, the original six,
okay, summer program.
this is summer, specifically summer.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, if you're in favor of this, please signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, ayes have it, motion carries. That's
And,
approved.
sorry, that was last minute, that was last minute instructions from
That's okay.
Okay, and we've also had in your packets an additional request for an overnight trip, and this is coming to us from Master Sergeant Philip Robinson. This is a request for the JROTC group from Denmark High School to attend, the Naval Museum in Charleston, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, at Major's Point, from November the 17th through the 18th. It is included all the chaperones and all of the students who will be attending and all of the information. It is an overnight youth experience. Rest assured, males and females are sleeping in separate designated quarters, and the male and female chaperones attending will be with each one of those groups. And this is paid for by ROTC.
All right, board members, I know that you've had an opportunity to receive and review this prior to tonight's meeting. What is the pleasure of the board with regards to approval of this request?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
at this time, I make a motion that we accept the trip for Master Sergeant Philip for November the 17th through the 18th at Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, paid for the ROTC.
Okay, you said accept, you mean accept and approve?
Approved.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, if you're in favor of this, please signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, the ayes have it, motion carries.
Congratulations, Superintendent's report, please stand.
Okay. Next on the agenda is item number 8, which is the monthly financial report.
And Mr. Montour is absent this evening, therefore, she has provided you with a copy of the financial report. If you have any questions, she's encouraging you to please email her or call her.
Okay. Board members, you had an opportunity to receive this prior to tonight's meeting and review it. What is the pleasure of the board with regards to approval and acceptance of the financial report as it's been written?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
at this time, I make a motion that we approve the financial report as written.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, if you're in favor of this, please signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, the ayes have it, the motion carries. We are now down to item number 9, which is visitor comments. And I see on the sheet here that we do not have anyone that signed up for comments from visitors. So we will move right on to item number 10 on the agenda, which is executive session. What is the pleasure of the board with regards to going into executive session?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
motion that we go into executive session to discuss A, employment / personnel, and number 1, personnel recommendations for hire, 2, personnel recommendations for resignation, and B, discussion of release of students.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion on the floor, second. Any discussion? Hearing none. If you're in favor of moving into executive session, please signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, the ayes have it. We will now move into executive session to discuss A, employment personnel. Number 1, personnel recommendation for hire. Number 2, personnel recommendation for resignation. And B, discussion of release of students. We are now in executive session. Thank all of you for Okay, board members, I will entertain a motion to come out of the executive session.
Madam Chair,
Yes?
at this time, I make a motion that we leave executive session and return to open session for the following line items. Employment personnel, 1, 2, and B, discussion on release of students.
All right, we have a motion on the floor and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, if you're in favor of moving out of executive session back into open session, please signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, the ayes have it, the motion carries. We are now back in open session. What is the pleasure of the board with regards to action, if any, on executive session items?
Madam Chairman, I move that we approve student transfer requests for students 1, 2, 3, and 4.
All right, we have a motion on the floor that we approve transfers for students 1, 2, 3, and 4. And with regards to A, 1 and 2, there's no action. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion on the floor and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, if you're in favor of this, please signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, the ayes have it, the motion carries. And we are now down to item number 12, which is to adjourn the meeting. I'll entertain a motion. Motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion on the floor and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, if you're in favor of adjourning this meeting, please signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, the ayes have it. The motion carries and the meeting is adjourned.